Afternoon cosplayers, this is Berserk Armor Maker. My real name's Dan. Pleasure to meet all you. I am making this footage because I had plenty of requests on how I exactly made my armor, the Berserk cosplay if you would. That was my first true cosplay I've ever done before, but before I did that, I made costumes, of course, when I was a kid. And before I get to showing you how exactly you make a set of armor like I did, I'm not going to show you my templates because I had people saying it would be more creative on my behalf if I just kept that my own personal secret and how I designed it. But I will tell you like how to do it, because I know many of you thought like, oh, that's amazing, how'd you do that? I may seem condescending right there, but I will show you materials I got. It's fairly cheap. What I did to cut it, it's pretty simple, it's nothing amazing. How I fluted it, and pretty much how I just held it together. There really isn't much to it. It's pretty simple. But before I go to that, I will be showing you what I made before, so you can see how I progressed through building costumes and whatnot, I guess you could say. And, well, I guess here it goes. I'm going to show you first my weapons that I did when I was in 9th grade. Alright, first things first is the swords. I started that when I was in 9th grade, when I was doing, well, when I was forcibly put into school play by my teacher in English. It was Romeo and Juliet. I was in charge of props, so I got creative. This is my first sword. It's really, really, really pathetic if you think about it. There was actually a lot more to it. I actually had a piece coming up around to right there for the cusp. And it's a lot wider than a normal rapier, but of course, I was in 9th grade. It's quite limited. The main core is bamboo, wood, cardboard, duct tape, and foil tape. Simple, and time was not very kind to it. It also had a scabbard, but that's been completely destroyed now. I made a series of those for the play, of course, and I even made the Master Sword from Legend of Zelda for my brother for Halloween, and that got me to go into more other things from video games, which led to Nightmare from Soul Calibur. That's when I got more into actually designing the suits. And for when it came to Nightmare, I didn't actually have anything blue, so I couldn't really paint him. So I ended up doing strictly black armor instead of azure, or azure, or however you pronounce that special word for blue. And what I have here is the original left-hand gauntlet. Fingers were... wait. Wrong gauntlet. What I have here is the original left-hand gauntlet for my Nightmare costume. It's quite bulky, but it's supposed to mimic his armor quite well. Still fits, actually. It's actually really quite comfortable. When my friends and I were playing with Boken, it's actually pretty strong, and it actually take full head-on strikes from a Boken, which is pretty nice. So we ended up play fighting with this a lot. But when it came to Zero, I ended up going all out, did the whole in his whole arm, and the helmet turned out not too well. Barely fit, but it doesn't work anymore. I'd wear it now, but can't. But the funnest part was the sword. Same thing, except 2 bamboo sticks built into it, straight down, one along the blade, and then cardboard, duct tape, foil tape, everywhere. It was pretty effective, and it's a lot of fun to swing around. After that, I was pretty much done with using bamboo because it would just break too easily. The soul edge can barely hold out anymore from being swung around because the bamboo is breaking in the hilt. The rapier barely handles anything. I've already broken the Master Sword in half by actually the soul edge cutting it in half. So I decided to go with steel cores, and that led to this. It's a ninja sword. I went all out with the scabbard and everything. I learned how to tie a Saggio, or however you pronounce it. That's how I pronounce it. And as you can see, I went completely authentic on how I tied the knot, along with up here. Best I can do with shoelaces. I know it's not the same, but turned out a lot better. It's a lot stronger. The blade, of course, is cardboard. It's still in that stage, at least. Foil tape wrapped around. The hilt actually is wood instead of cardboard, so it's stronger. And the grip, besides being cardboard, actually has a special rule because it to be nice, grippable. It holds really tight and defense. Really strong, but it will hurt you if you hit anywhere on somebody. The first time I took this out, I was able to stab it straight into the ground, like 3 inches or 6 inches. I didn't. Yeah, it's about 5 actually. But still, the point is that it can hurt, but it gives it more authenticity, I feel. And then I got more accurate because, of course, the handle was way too short. And I came up with this. It's a lot thinner. It can actually curve, which was actually by accident. I ended up smacking it on the ground too many times straight on the edge while on the tip, so got a nice curve going to it. Same thing, cardboard in the hilt. On the tie, I tried to ran out up here so I couldn't do the whole cap thing like I did for the other ones. But it's nice and strong. But going along for what I did for the armor, I ended up going to building Siegfried's set from Soul Calibur 3. So let me just grab that for a sec.